Okay, so this is 45 government documents that admit to a flat, non-rotating, stationary Earth. You can check the numbers on these pages, on these documents are identifiable. You can cross-reference them on the internet and see that they are completely legit, that these are official government documents that you can get through the Freedom of Information Act. And pretty much, I mean, these are strategic defense, military, NASA, Air Force. They're all basically, and they have to be reminded to assume, when it comes to flight and other things like projectiles, to assume that they are flying over a flat, non-rotating, stationary Earth. Now, why would you do such a thing unless you were indeed flying over a flat, stationary, non-rotating Earth? And that's what these documents pretty much let you know, because they have to tell you what they're doing. You know, if you ask them straight up, well, they got to tell you. They got to tell you the truth. And so this right here is a nice big old 45 document truth bomb. Yeah, I recorded all these and go through each one of them and pause them and read them, and then you can go on the internet and cross-reference them against this little number down here on the bottom left-hand corner. That's the URL number. You can identify the keywords and stuff that are used in these documents as being the words that are used in the official documents. I really have no reason to sit here and try and make up 45 government documents that aren't real. So, I got a lot of time on my hands, but not that much damn time. Anyways, these are actual, real, official government documents. And little things like, for instance, Coriolis, trajectory, these are all things that they have to be reminded. Oh, when it comes to these things, remember that you're not on a round spinning ball, that you are in a flat, stationary, non-rotating Earth. You know, you got rail guns that shoot 23-mile projectiles 23 miles away. I mean, it takes 90 seconds for that projectile to get to its target. Well, the Earth is supposedly moving at 19 miles per minute, 15 degrees per hour. So 19 miles a minute and a half, 90 seconds, that's, 33 miles off course that projectile would be by the time it actually hit its target. But these gunners, they're not geniuses. They don't sit there and do a bunch of mathematics before they fire the shell. They throw the shell into the gun, they lock and load, they fire, and 90 seconds later it hits its target. Because it's a non-rotating Earth. It doesn't move. These are things you would have to take in consideration if it was a moving Earth. You would have to take in consideration a projectile that takes 90 seconds to hit its target 23 miles away. If the Earth was moving 19 miles a minute, 90 seconds is a lot of ground to cover. So, but you should question everything. I mean, they definitely don't have this silly appeal to authority like it's going to help your cause any. I know some hardcore bikers and stuff like that. They hate the government. They say, "Oh, I can't stand the government. I don't believe anything they say." But then they'll turn right around and tell you, "But I believe everything that NASA says." Hey, NASA just came out with that report on 15 new exoplanets last week. They buy that shit up completely, wholeheartedly. They don't even question it. And I don't understand why would you believe a government that you don't believe anything else? You don't trust them, yet you believe another government installation like NASA. The word NASA is Aramaic Hebrew for deception, to deceive. That is what NASA means. On the moon landing pictures, you can zoom in on the surrounding areas of them in the moon landing pictures, and you can find rodents, car parts, beer cans, all kinds of weird things that shouldn't be there. Because they're not on the moon. They're in a damn junkyard somewhere in Nevada. I mean, it's not hard to deduce what it means when you find beer cans, car parts, and rodents in the pictures. So, got a bunch of Freemasons that swear up and down they went to space, but none of the things that they said add up at all. I mean, you got the first step taken on the moon was from a boot with waffle patterns on it, but you look at the suit that Neil Armstrong supposedly wore when he stepped off onto the moon and made that first step, it's completely flat bottom with a star on it. So, I mean, it's just everything that they say is crap. Everything they do is crap. Deception, just like their name implies, deception. Now, you get a lot of people that will say, why? Why would they do that? Why? Well, it's like this. Anytime money is a factor, that's an incentive, all right? Money is an incentive. That is your why, especially when you have $58 billion a year, that's $56 million a day, as an incentive. Well, that probably warrant a lot of lying, especially when it was made up just to cover the very first lie that they made. Now that's just a perpetual lie, lies to tell more lies, to perpetuate that very first lie that they told back in '69. They say that we can't go through the Van Allen belts. It's a dangerous radiation, a magnetic field that surrounds the Earth out to 25,000 miles out into space. Comes from our liquid magnetic molten metal core, which there can be no such thing. Metal and magnets alike lose all magnetic properties when just heated, glowing red hot. They don't have to be molten. So the idea that we have a liquid molten magnetic metal core is asinine. But they say that this is emitting this Van Allen belt, and we can't go out in space. That's why they say we can't go past lower Earth orbit right now. Which, by the way, if you were in lower Earth orbit, you would still be confined to the law, the fake laws of gravity, the fake rule of gravity, which is a theory, never been proven. So you wouldn't be floating, but you see them all the time up there in their harnesses, pretending like they're floating, but they drop something and it doesn't float; it drops to the ground. They wouldn't be floating if they're in low Earth orbit, which is what they say. They admit openly that they can't leave lower Earth orbit because of the Van Allen belts. Well, riddle me this, Batman. How did you go through those same Van Allen belts from '69 to '72? If you ask the astronauts, say, Alan Bean, ask him, how did you make it through the Van Allen belts? Oh, well, they hadn't been discovered yet on our mission, so we went right on through them. That is the dumbest shit I have ever heard in my life. Anybody that accepts that as an answer needs to be checked for retardation, really. And I'm not poking fun at anybody. I know I was snowed by the same shit that everybody's snowed by these days. But the thing is when the idea was presented to me, I never looked back. I completely saw. I mean, as a kid, I always thought that we were being lied to. I never believed any of the shit we were taught in school. And lo and behold, it's a good thing because it was all crap. Every last bit of it. We are ordered by law to be in a classroom at the age of 5, where you're bombarded with so much bullshit programming until the age of 18. By law, you have to be there. This was set up by the Rockefeller Foundation. The Rockefeller Foundation set up our education system. That does not tell you something. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I mean, other than we live in a world full of deception. Every last thing that you see in society is a lie, is a scam, is a farce, is a hoax. Everything. From the military, to their cargo, to their weapons, to nuclear bombs, to the COVID. It's all bullshit, man. It's not real. They're constantly keeping us in submission through fear-mongering, but with fake things that can be easily disproved if you just went somewhere other than the mainstream media for your information. But y'all have a good one. Food for thought.